All right, welcome to episode 2 of Big Facts with the Burtons. Let's go. We made it through episode 1, and now we're here for episode 2. We did it. We are not in the same location that we were in last time that we filmed. We were on the couch. This is probably actually my favorite spot in our entire house.
So. Oh, yeah, we love the couch. We pretty much slept on the couch for like the entirety of my pregnancy up until like the past 3 weeks.
I don't know if we should tell everybody that, because if anybody comes over, they're going to be like, I ain't going to sit on that couch. You guys have been slumbering on that thing.
It has been nice.
It has been nice. But we're really excited. We're going to get into just some things that we've learned since we've been married, almost 2 years. Yep. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about some weird things that our spouse does. Tate is my spouse, and I am her spouse.
Is my spouse.
Some weird things that we do. Yeah, some weird things that we do. So we're going to get right into it. Let's roll that intro music. All right, so recently Tate has thrown up again.
Wait. Okay, they don't know because the last time they heard this, I was still in pretty rough shape, but I've been so much better, guys.
She's been great.
I've been really good. I've been able to eat things like I even ate spaghetti and like what else have I ate like here lately?
Spaghetti and
I've been obsessed with gas station food.
You ate 3 meats last night.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to eat meat
sausage
before. Yeah,
eggs, sausage, and bacon last night.
Yes, well, eggs not a meat, is it? No, it's not.
I mean, I think it's like a poultry. I don't know.
It comes from an egg,
but it comes from a chicken,
but not meat.
I mean, yes, I'm pretty sure it's still considered protein.
I would not consider that meat. But anyway, I ate sausage and bacon. I've been able to eat those 2 meats. And then I ate, like, obviously the ground beef that was in the spaghetti. And then I've been obsessed with gas station food. So if you ever heard of Cooper's Chicken, oh my goodness. And I've not been eating the chicken part. I've only been eating the jalapeno poppers and the potato wedges with buffalo sauce.
And she says potato. What is that? It's potato with a P.
He always hates on me because I say potato.
Says, can I get some of them potato wedges?
But they know what I'm talking about. Potato, potato, tomato. It really doesn't matter.
Okay, but you say it with a B.
So?
Potato.
I know how it's spelled. It's not like I don't know how it's spelled. I know it's spelled with a P, but, you know, just the B comes off of me.
Okay, so anyway, back to what he's talking about.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with it.
Tate threw up.
But I've been better, guys. Is that what you're trying to say?
She's been a lot better, but recently she threw up, and that's the reason that it's so important, because it hasn't happened in a while. But she threw up. It was pork barbecue.
Yeah. I also ate pork barbecue, though. I've been able to eat that for like a couple weeks now.
You did do that.
And stuff. So that's another one.
Mm-hmm. It was in the shower, and she probably could have filled up 2 5-gallon buckets.
It was some of my worst throw up, guys. Yeah. Like really, really rough.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to clean it up myself. And Caleb was like, why didn't you face the drain and throw up in the drain? And I was like, there's no way this would have went down the drain, because like you said, there was so much.
There was quite a bit. And yeah, you did. You cleaned it up all yourself, though, because I was angry.
Yeah, he was mad at me. I think he was just upset I got sick.
Yeah, because homegirl faced the opposite direction of the drain and threw up at the back of the shower.
I didn't want to clog the drain. I was like, oh no, this is about to be bad, and I don't want to clog the drain with barbecue.
Yeah, it was pretty gross, though, all the barbecue and stuff, and it just smelled so bad. The whole bathroom smelled like pork barbecue.
Yeah.
It was rough.
But I will say, it was one of those throw ups where like before I would throw up and not feel better, but that one I threw up and like immediately felt better. So that was like a praise. Like I was like, okay, I'm fine with this, I guess.
Right. Okay. So how many weeks are we along now?
24. We're 24 weeks
24
now. Almost
weeks.
25. We'll be like 25 on like Tuesday.
Is there a way you could look and see what size she is?
Yeah, I can look on the baby
little
app,
update
the baby
on the
center.
On the size of the baby. I think
she was an ear of corn the last time I think I looked. She might still be an ear of corn.
Yeah. But I always get confused about like what is like the mass of that? Like what, so like is she the size of an ear of corn, like she looks like an ear of corn? Or is it like,
I think it just means she's like as long as an ear of corn. I think, because it's like the length.
Yeah, I got you.
I think that's what it's measuring.
So like the mass is probably like the same.
Yeah, but she's still an ear of corn. So that's what she still is on.
Yeah. Okay.
So go her. She's growing.
She is. She's doing great. So we're going to hop right into it real quick. The top 3.
Oh, wait, guys. Before we go on, Caleb doesn't even know about this yet, okay? And I meant to tell him before the
I'm
podcast even started.
terrified.
But I want to tell you guys so that you guys can be praying for her because I felt so bad. I'm kind of sad because my sister just called me like right before Caleb got home, like 30 minutes before this, and she broke her nose. She got hit with a softball in the face and broke her nose. And prom is 2 weeks away. And she was just crying and she was so tore up because it's her first prom. So you guys just pray for her. And if I start to get sad, just like randomly, it's because I'm thinking about her being sad because I was about to cry while she was crying. So yeah, it's been rough these past like hour.
Should have moved out of the way.
No, I actually don't know what
just kidding.
happened. I didn't even know what happened. She just called me and like she was already crying. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, no, what happened? It doesn't look that bad. I told her like we can cover it up with makeup if like she has like a black eye or if like it's still bruised by the time of prom. But you guys just be praying for her because I'm still thinking about it and I'm pretty sad about it for her because I know that would stink. Like your prom pictures and all the things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Caleb doesn't know about that yet. I didn't get to tell
Well,
him
now I
about that.
do. And
Yeah,
she
so
has
Ava broke her
nose.
nose.
Yeah.
Ava broke her nose.
Sorry,
And
Ava.
like you have to get your nose like pop back in place, don't you? Whenever like it breaks, like it's painful.
You have
Like
to
I
get
feel
her-
like that's like one of the most painful bones to break, and she's never broken a bone, and neither have I. Knock on wood.
You have to get it set.
Yeah.
You have to get your nose set.
You have to get it reset.
I'm pretty sure it's not like popped back into place. Or I mean, I guess it kind of is, but like so it'll grow back the same. They have to like go in and set it.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sad. Well, I hope I never break a bone.
I've never had it happen, and I'm definitely not a doctor, but
But yeah, pray for her.
definitely definitely pray for her.
Yeah, pray for her. So I just had to tell him because I was thinking about it, like,
Yeah.
and it was making me sad.
Okay, so anyway, sorry about it, Ava.
Sorry
Okay.
about the commercial break.
Top 3 weirdest things your spouse.
I have more than 3.
does. I think I do too, actually.
Like, I know that we said like top 3, but like Caleb doesn't necessarily do like weird things. There's like a few that are weird, but all the rest of them are just things that I'm like, why do you do that? Like, it's not even like other people would think it's weird. It's just like, I think like, oh, that's kind of odd, you know? And I feel like mine are like actually pretty weird sometimes.
Yeah.
So you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll kick her off. Okay. So Tate does this really crazy thing where so we have a hallway between our bathroom and our living room,
This is recent that I've started doing this.
and she likes to leave when she exits the bathroom to go through the hallway. There's like a little doorway. You actually can. I don't know
You
if you can
can't
see
see
the edge.
it. I don't know if you can see
the
it.
edge.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Tanton's
Yeah,
going to turn
so
it for you.
there's the hallway right there. So she actually will close her eyes and try to see if she can make it through the hallway.
Both of like the doorways.
Both of the
I try
doorways,
to close my
yeah.
eyes from the bathroom to here and see if I can make it to both the doorways. I don't know where this came from, and I don't know why I started doing this, but I've just made it a game. It's almost like a game.
I love that you're just proud of it.
I
too.
know.
That's-
Like, I don't know. There's nothing I can say about that can be like, oh, yeah, that's justified. Like, that's like a normal thing because I know that's not normal.
yeah, it's so weird.
But it's
And-
just like a fun little game to
Yeah.
pass the time.
but also you're pregnant, and it's probably not exactly the smartest.
Oh, I've ran
thing
into
to do.
like the wall before too, and then I go back and like redo it if I run into the wall. So not with my belly. I haven't ran into my belly, like my arm or something will hit it. Like I'm cautious about it.
Yeah.
But
Tanton is making all the faces that I want to make right now. Like, what the heck are you?
I know
thinking?
it's weird, guys. I know it's weird, but sometimes you just gotta find fun in the mundane things. And walking, you know, to me, I was like, oh, I can spice this up a bit, make it a little bit more fun.
So I'm gonna close my eyes and walk through blind. Good Lord. Okay, so what's yours now? What's your first one?
Okay. Caleb does this really weird thing. I don't even know what you would call it because I don't even know how to describe it, but he can demonstrate it to you. Like, I let him demonstrate it to you on my arm. But, like, he will push his fingertips down, like, constantly. Like, every, like, minute or so. And I don't know if you ever see him, like, on the mic, he might, like, push them down just to make sure, like, his fingertips are still there, I guess. I don't know why he does it or where it came from, but, like, show him, demonstrate. I know that if you're
So-
listening to this, you can't see it.
So it's just like,
Show him.
okay.
Like
So-
press your fingertips. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
we
Like he'll
try
do
to
that.
do
But
that.
like to anything, like if he's on a steering wheel or anything like that, like he has to press his fingertips down.
I don't know. It's like something that started when I was like really little.
Yeah.
But I like get this weird like anxiety that like my fingernails are separating from the tips of my fingers. So I like
not
so I
true
have
at
to, like,
all.
push
Not
down on
true at
things to make sure that they're not like popping off.
That
I
was
guess.
like you're making sure he's still breathing or something.
I
don't know.
guess just like bringing
Or
them
like
to life a little
blood's
bit.
still pumping to him. I don't know.
I don't know. It's really weird. I know.
That's like the
that is
one
weird.
weird thing though that I'm like everybody will be like, what? The other things are kind of like
At least
Yeah.
I ain't pregnant, closing my eyes, walking through doorways. Or
no, I said I said they are.
Okay. Anyway, so Tate also wakes me up in the strangest of ways.
No, I don't. I
Just
do
the
not.
strangest of ways.
I do
And I'll
not.
demonstrate one for you. So we're in here. We're in
No,
here
I know
asleep.
what you're about to say. And that would, no, out of context.
So I do this weird breathing thing.
Yes, that was actually on my list, was his weird breathing thing whenever he goes to sleep. He used to snore. I'll go ahead and say mine before you say yours,
Okay,
since
yeah.
it goes along with yours. But he used to snore really bad, and like it would really get on my nerves. So I would like be like, hey, turn on your side, because that was whenever he would stop snoring. And now, instead of snoring, it's like translated into breathing, but like heavy breathing. Like, show him how you breathe. Like
Show them how you breathe.
loudly, like how you do it really loudly.
Hey, Caleb, show them how you breathe.
It's really loud, guys. Like, it's like excessive. You
I
would
don't know. I'm
you would think
asleep.
he's like losing his breath like every minute or so. It's kind of scary. It sounds a little scary.
I think I need to
But-
get on the BiPAP or the what is it? Is it a CPAP or a
CPAP.
BOP or a
But
BiPAP?
there's no cure for it yet. I haven't found a way that like he could sleep where he doesn't breathe like that or anything. Like the same with snoring or whatever.
Yeah, so
But so it's really loud. And so I kind of just have to wake him up to make him stop. Like that's the only way to be able to cure it.
they usually push me on my side too.
I'm like, get
Yeah,
on your
so-
side because I'm just like hoping maybe.
Yeah. So I do this weird breathing thing. But anyway, so Tate likes to wake me up when she gets annoyed by the breathing in just the strangest of ways. So one night we're in here asleep on the couch. I'm conked out. I'm sleeping like a little baby, just all curled up over there in my blankies. So Tate, she's in her pregnancy pillow with her other 19 pillows surrounding her. And she raises up and literally she's like just like hitting the couch like really hard, like I don't know. That probably just broke
I don't know
the
why you
mic.
did it twice.
That probably just broke the mic. But
why you did it
anyway,
twice.
yeah. So literally like so loud, and I just like shoot up and I was like, what? I thought I was like getting murdered in my sleep.
He over exaggerated a little bit. Like it,
It
wasn't
was
that bad.
terrifying. Imagine being asleep and then hearing that, just like somebody start hitting the couch. And I did. I thought we was getting killed. I was like, there's a burglar in our house, and this is it right here.
No. It
But-
wasn't that bad. I promise, guys, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that scary. But Caleb, like, also whenever like he wakes up from sleep, it's like he's not fully like, and I know, like, you know, you're not fully there whenever you wake up, but like Caleb's really not there.
It takes me a
and
minute to get
stuff.
there.
Like, no, he could be awake for like 2 minutes, like just sitting there with his eyes open, and he's still not able to like process anything. Because whenever I tell him to turn on his side at night, he literally is like, "What's a side?" Like he can't understand that I'm asking him to like turn over, and like I have to say it like 5 or 6 times so that he gets it. And like I'm finally just like move it for him. Like I'm finally like moving him
you
on his
said-
side.
No, that was like 2 nights ago, and you was
No, this happens way more than you realize
You
because
was
you
like-
don't remember it.
no, you kept saying Caleb Assad.
No,
It
I
was
didn't.
like-
No, I did not
It
say
was something
that.
with Assad, and I
No,
was
I
like,
kept
what does
saying,
Assad mean?
Turn to your side, or I would say, "Hey, turn over." Like I would try to make it like sound like, "Oh, okay, like he's gonna get it this way," and you never got it.
I think it might have been pick Assad, but I was like, what is
no,
Assad?
it wasn't that. That was not that.
Like one word, ASIDE. Assad.
no, that's just what you hear. I don't know what goes on with you whenever
Well,
you're sleeping, but
It was freaky. Okay, so Tate also, I've actually got 3 more. I'll try
yeah,
to.
I'm looking at my notes, so you guys know that we're not like scrolling on our phones. We have notes on our phones to like look at.
No, I'm
so.
actually on the gram, just
So we're
just
just
chilling,
like scrolling around and stuff. Like if you're watching this, and not listening to it.
rolling around. All right, so Tate
I have one. If you don't.
Tate likes her feet tickled.
Oh, I love it.
What kind of psychopath likes
It's
their
so
feet tickled?
soothing. Oh my goodness, it's so soothing.
She will sit and give me her feet, and I just have to tickle them.
I'm like, will you tickle my feet?
Those are
And
my
he's
feet.
like-
If you'd like to see those.
But he's always like, why do you want me to tickle your feet? I'm like, it's just so relaxing. Like it's just like almost like getting a massage like on your foot. Like it's amazing.
I hate being tickled though, so I'm
Yeah.
like super tickled.
I don't like to be tickled like anywhere else, but like on my feet, like yes, like it's amazing.
It's terrifying.
No, I love it. But
Okay,
yeah, that
what-
one is kind of weird. A lot of people don't like that.
So what's yours?
Okay, this one is like weird but not weird at the same time because like he's gone through this phase now where like he's constantly eating sunflower seeds in and out of the house, and so he's constantly spitting them all over the place. Okay, he has a cup like inside the house, like he'll spit like the seeds in the cup, but like it doesn't always make it in the cup, and that's one of those things where it's just like why we're not at a baseball park, we're not outside, like why are you eating these sunflower seeds so much? And then we were going to Kamey's game the other night and he was eating them in the car and he was spitting them over me instead of on his side of the window. Like he was spitting them over me, and like they were like some were like blowing back in from like the wind of the window. And I was like, why are you doing this? I was like, what is going on?
I just think, like the ballpark vibes are just immaculate. So I always think, you got the sunflower seeds in.
Living room is the ballpark.
And you just feel like just like a burly country man, I guess. You got your little...
What? That is not what I think of.
I mean, I don't know. You're like spitting in a cup.
I think of baseball. The baseball field. That's pretty much
That's what I'm saying. The ballpark vibes are immaculate. So when you have the sunflower seeds in, you just feel like, oh man, I'm just at the ballpark hanging, watching the Yanks play, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
But, okay, so I've got another one. Tate likes to wake up in the middle of the night, and I guess you could see this in like a sweet way, but I just see this in like a psychopathic way.
I don't know what you're about to say.
She informed me one time that she likes to wake up in the middle of the night and watch me sleep.
No! Okay. It's not like that. It's like sometimes like I'll wake up and not be able to go back to sleep, and like I'll check and see if he's breathing, because sometimes he looks so still that it doesn't look like he's breathing anymore. And if I can't hear him, if he's not doing the breathing thing, then I'm like, okay, something must be wrong.
If I'm not doing my breathing method.
Yeah.
He's probably dead.
Normal breathing method.
He's probably dead.
So anyway, but then I'll just be like, oh, like I just love him. I'm so glad that he's here and that he's alive and that he's healthy. And like that's what I mean by like watching him sleep. Not like I sit there and like, stare at him over like the bed like a horror movie or
she's
something.
Hovering over me, just like plotting the murder.
No.
Just staring me down.
It's in a sweet way. It comes from a sweet intent in my heart.
Well, I appreciate it. And you could see that as a sweet way, but not me. If I'm asleep, I don't even know you're looking at me.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, like, if he woke up and saw me, that's what I'm saying. I'm not, like, standing over the bed, like, looking at him, like, hovering over at him or something. But...
Do you have another one?
Yeah, I actually have a few more. So
my gosh.
I'll just pick one more.
I'm a freak.
I'll just pick one more. I just made a list because I didn't know how many that you had. But instead of, Caleb, his favorite food is a hamburger. Cheeseburger. He doesn't like cheeseburgers, so he always gets the hamburger or whatever. That's fine. Hamburger. That's not weird. But I think it's the weirdest thing that every time that Caleb talks about like a hamburger, he has to say hamburger patty. Like he can't just say a hamburger. And like I've never heard anybody do that besides him. I'll be like, what do you want for dinner? And I'll be like, oh, hamburgers. And he's like, hamburger patties. And I'm like, what? Like, why do you have to add that in there? What does that have to do? Like, we know it's a patty. Like, what?
Now listen, hamburger, I consider, and some people would just say like ground beef.
I would say ground beef.
I would call that hamburger. I call it like hamburger. I would say like
ground beef, like your tacos, like taco meat.
So then, if you put it on a bun, it makes a hamburger. The hamburger meat on a bun makes a hamburger. Now, if you don't put it on a bun and you're just eating it without the bun, I would call that a hamburger patty. Because it's not, I mean, I guess some people call it like hamburger steak or like something like that. Or
see, I would just call it a hamburger. What about you guys? What would you guys call it? You can't tell me, but what would you call it?
Comment down below what you call it. Ground beef, hamburger patty, whatever. Yeah. Whatever it is.
We'll take a poll.
Okay, so I've got another one too. This is actually my last one. So Tate likes to, she used to tell me this story all the time about how when she was little, she would eat sandwiches with just mayonnaise on them. Only mayonnaise.
Okay, wait. Pause.
No, not pause.
Wait, pause. Because if you are from the South, this is a Southern thing. I've learned more and more that people ate mayonnaise sandwiches just like I did whenever I was a kid. So it's not that weird, it's just a South thing.
If you eat mayonnaise sandwiches, you don't love Jesus. I'm convinced that you don't love Jesus.
That's a lot.
No, I'm just kidding. But so anyway, she used to tell me these stories of how when she was little, she would eat those. And then one day I walked in, it was probably like 11:30, something like that. And she was like, can you sit down on the couch? And I was like, sure. She was like, I need to tell you something. And I was like, oh, okay. So I sat down, me thinking it was going to be totally serious. And she was like, she puts her hand on my leg and she says, it's time. And I was like, it's time for what? Like, it's time for what? What is happening? And she goes, I want a mayonnaise sandwich. So sent me to Subway to get her a 6-inch sub with just mayo on it. Mm-hmm. And it had to be heated.
On Italian bread.
And it had to be heated. So it was just warm mayonnaise, just like liquid eggs, just warm.
was good.
on bread. And it was terrifying. It was horrifying. And I couldn't even watch her eat it. I literally had to go in the other room and I was like,
Yeah, he wouldn't even stay in here while I was eating it.
yeah, I was like, I'm not even going to be able to watch you do that. It was petrifying to watch.
Well, if you guys want to know if it was good or not, it was good. Don't knock it till you try it. Go into Subway and ask for it, and you may be pleasantly surprised.
I also, though, for one,
Caleb does not like mayonnaise.
Do not like mayonnaise at all.
He doesn't. He hates them. So, like, that was part of it, too. But if you like mayonnaise, there you go. That's something you can go try because it was really good.
No, I just can't do it. I don't like sour cream either. I don't know what it is about stuff just in that realm, but I just don't.
I know.
I don't really mess with it. But
and I love sour cream too.
It was terrifying. It was horrifying. Yeah, I hated it so much. But all right, so we are about to get into some crazy things, some awesome things that we have learned since we have been married, since in our time of 2 years of marriage.
Some good advice that we've gotten from others or things like that.
Yeah.
And let us preface, we're in no way experts. We've only been married for a little less than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that how you would say that? Or would you say a little more than a year? How would you say that?
I mean, we've been married over a year.
Okay, we've been married
almost
over
2
a year.
years.
I know it's not 2 years yet. I was just trying to figure out how to say it. But we're not experts. We are still learning. We are constantly going to be learning no matter how many years of marriage that we are in. But this is just things that, like, over time that we've had to learn or are still learning currently about each other and about marriage. So, like, don't think we're, like, experts and saying, like, oh, yeah, we've got it figured out. Like, we know it all. Like, no, we know we haven't been married a long time and that we're going to learn a lot more things. So,
yeah, we're definitely still learning every single day. Definitely haven't been married near as long as what, some people have.
Oh, no, I mean, definitely not.
My Grammy and Papaw just had their 50th
and so did my nanny and Poppy too, because their like anniversaries are close together,
which is crazy. But anyway, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna throw to our ads real quick, and then we're gonna get right in some of our best marriage advice. Been married over a year, over a little almost
2 years.
All right, throw to the ads real quick. Are you struggling to manage your social media presence? Let our friends at InRise Media go ahead and take care of that for you. Their expert team specializes in social media management, content creation, and digital marketing. They have worked with people from Netflix and multiple people across the U.S. In managing their social media content and digital marketing. They will help your brand stand out to the crowded online world. Whether you're a small business, large business, whatever you are, they can help you out. They're some of our best friends. They actually shoot this podcast and help us out with a bunch of marketing tools. They have the tools and the expertise to drive engagement and grow your following. Scan this QR code. We're going to throw it up on the screen. Scan that QR code or visit their website at inrisemedia.com to learn more. Help them help you succeed in the digital age with InRise Media. All right, so we're going to hop into some things that we have learned while being married.
Yes. And yet again, if we look down at our phones and you're watching this, we're not like scrolling. Our notes are on our phones. So
got some notes.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first or you go first?
Yep. You go first.
Okay. My first one would be always assume the best in your spouse / don't live your life on the defense. And what I mean by that is that, and this is something that I had to learn, is like, know that your spouse has the best intentions. And even if they don't, like, that's not your job to judge or to convict or do anything like that. Like, that's the Lord's job. And if you just always believe the best and believe the best intentions in your spouse, to know that if they've done something to hurt you or had a mistake or anything like that, like, they're not doing that at you. Like, they're not doing that towards you. We're just human people and we're sinful people and we make mistakes, but they're not doing that in a way that's like coming at you. But if you're always living your life on the defense and you're always like, oh yeah, they're out to get me. Like, these people are out to get me. Like, my spouse is out to get me. My friends are out to get me. And you're always looking for a reason to be offended. Like, you always will find one. And so I think that's like one of the biggest things that I've learned. And I have a piece of scripture that goes along with that I feel like kind of could relate to that.
Oh my gosh, my girl preaching.
But it's Ephesians 5:33, and it's, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. And I think for me specifically, it goes on the respect part, because I feel like that's a sign of me showing him respect, is believing the best in him, because I know what a good person he is and the intention that he has and the love that he has for the Lord and the love that he has for me. And I know that he doesn't purposely ever want to hurt me or say anything that's going to hurt me. And so I feel like that's my one of my bigger ones. And that's one of the ones like I had to learn like all throughout like the beginning of our marriage, especially because like you're getting to know a person on a marriage level, which you've never done before. And so like it's all new. And so like if you're always looking for a reason to be upset, like you're going to find one, like you will find one. And so just believing and knowing like, no, like I married him for a reason. I married him for his character and his love for the Lord. And like because of that, I know that he's always going to have my best interest in mind. And even if he doesn't, that's not my job to say whether he is or not. Like the Lord's going to take care of that in time if that's not true. Yeah. But I know it's true with Caleb because he's awesome. So
now, so we were both 21 when we got married. So like, I mean, we had so much growing up to do, and we still do.
Oh, like, yeah, we were growing up together and still are.
Like, just, you know, just knowing that you're going to mess up. Like you guys are going to mess up. Like it just happens. Yeah. But, you know, just like you said, just, you know, expecting the best out of your spouse and also giving the best to your spouse, giving your best to your spouse. Yes. Like don't give your spouse a reason to think differently of you.
Yeah. And I think like also that advice can go along with like, even if you're not married, whether you're dating, whether you're single, friendships, family, like always believe the best in those people. Like the Lord wants us to believe the best in others and to show that love to others and that grace and that kindness to others. Yeah. And so I think that you can take that advice way beyond out of marriage.
Right. Absolutely. So my first one is, and mine actually started a lot more softer than what yours.
Oh, sorry. I didn't really know. Sorry.
No, that was great. I'm just saying mine's just a lot more on the weekend. No, but have your own things you like to do separately. That's
a good one. I think that's a great one. It creates a healthy marriage.
I think that it's hard to, you definitely can't depend on your spouse for, obviously, you know, they are supposed to make you happy, but like I can't depend on Tate to always just keep me entertained and keep me fully happy. Like, I mean, like I've got to have my own things that I enjoy doing. Like today, went and played golf. It was absolutely horrible, but you know that's one of the things that I like to do.
Still a hobby with your friends.
Yes,
like you're not just like with me all the time.
Absolutely, and it keeps me in community with them. And like you know, I'm not depending on you to constantly just make me happy, you know, entertain me, make me feel this type of way. So yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah.
I think I've got more than so you said you had 3. So I've got.
Oh yeah, you look like you have a lot over there.
I've one, I don't know. Like
if you want to say another one, you can.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say the next one. The next one is, and I actually heard this off of another podcast, and I thought it was great. But he just said,
"Shout out to all the podcasts."
Yeah, every podcast that's ever existed. No, this is. It says, "Be a man and let your wife speak." I think that's one of the huge ones. As a man, it almost feels dominant to like interrupt your wife while she's speaking. And it could probably be the same way for some women. Like just it makes you feel like you're winning if you're interrupting and you're saying more things and you're piling more things on top of that person. But I loved that piece of advice. So be a man and let your wife speak. Give them room to speak, because this is not me yelling at you. This is a conversation. Like if we're upset about something, this is a conversation that we're having. Mm-hmm. It's not just me just assaulting you with my words as hard as I can until I win the fight. It's not like that. Like this is us trying to fix this together. We're a team and we're trying to work this out.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like you are really good at that. I feel like you're really good about letting me speak. And you guys know me. If you know me, actually, you know, all of you may know me.
Like to talk.
But if you know me, I like to talk. So yeah, sometimes like in arguments that can come out. Like if we're just like this or whatever, like we don't care to like interrupt each other or like to like speak on behalf of each other in certain things. But like in an argument or like when things are heated like that is so disrespectful to do that to each other and to not let each other speak and have those moments where you can listen and really understand each other.
I've got another one too.
Okay.
So this kind of goes along with that, but also knowing when to listen and knowing when to speak. Know when to hold them, know when to fold. That's what it makes you think of. But anyway,
no, what was about to happen?
That country song. I break out into song right now, High School Musical style. But no, so knowing when to listen and knowing when to speak. So like there's so many times that I've caught myself, Tate has came to me with a problem that or something that she's wanting to talk about. And I just start like rattling off, oh, here's 10 different solutions that I just thought of. And that doesn't help anything. That is not getting us anywhere. I do that all the time. And it's just, it doesn't really get us anywhere in her problems or anything. A lot of times what she's looking for is just for someone to be there and for someone to listen to what she's going through and just be comfort in that situation. Because yeah, there's so many times I'm just like rattling stuff off and like it just doesn't get us anywhere. And she's like, that's not what I want to hear right now. That's not what I need to hear. She's like, I get that. Like, I know all the right things, but it's like, I just need you to listen to me. I just need you to be present right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So that's, yeah. So know when to listen and know when to speak and give your point of view.
So like Caleb said, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Is
know
that what you
when
said?
to fold, know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Know
So
when
that
to
would
run.
help you remember that.
You never count your, all right.
All right. My next one is more of a question than like necessarily just like a statement, but is what you're saying necessary? And I think I've had to like assess this with myself like so many times because like I said, I like to talk and sometimes that can come out in an unhealthy way whenever we're arguing or whenever we're upset at each other. And so sometimes I'm just coming to like jab and like, kill them with my words, like in all honesty. Like that is something like I have to work on and stuff, like controlling my tongue. And the Bible talks about that in many different ways because your words have the power of life and death. Like the Bible says that. And so I have to constantly like assess myself, and I've gotten better at it, but I'm still not all the way there. And there's days whenever I'm worse and there's days whenever I'm better, but I have to constantly assess, is what I'm saying necessary? Is what I'm saying to him going to help build him up and help the problem and help find the solution to the problem? Or is it just going to tear him down and make him feel worse? And in all reality, most of the time it's the opposite of like, because like then it will turn into like nagging or whatever it is. And like, that's not helpful. That's not a way to build him up and to help us find a solution to whatever problem that we're trying to work through. So I feel like that's a really big one for me.
That one's really good. That's really good.
And that applies to like in friendships and like all the things too. I've had to learn that in friendships also is like, what I'm about to say like necessary to whatever they're going through, and is it going to be helpful or is it going to be hurtful?
Mm-hmm.
And not in a way that's like, I'm telling them the truth about what the word says, because that needs to come off in a love and kind way. But is it just something that's like my opinion that actually doesn't even matter?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. So I've got one too that kind of builds off both of those, but is what you're saying necessary? So like think about it in this way on the flip side. Who am I? Rich Wilkerson actually said this, but he said, who am I not to tell my wife every good thing that I think about her? And I was like, that is so cool, because a lot of times what you'll do is you'll just like, I'll be sitting around. I've caught myself like just sitting around and they'll be like, oh, Tate's really good at that. Or wow, Tate's really gifted in doing that. And I just don't even say it. I just think it to myself. But he literally was like, who am I to not say that? Every time I think something good about my wife, or I think like, something that I think about her that's amazing, like why would I not say that? Why would I immediately not say that to her, tell her about that? Why would I withhold that from her? Why would I not uplift my wife as much as I possibly could?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
That's really good too. And I have a verse that can kind of go along with that too. This is specifically like to like the ladies of like what the Bible says, but Proverbs 21:9, it is better to live in a corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. And that just means a wife that's like argumentative and is always putting you down or whatever that may be. So that goes right along with, I think, both of those, in like the sense of like, is what you're saying necessary? And to like make sure that like whatever you're saying comes off in an encouraging and loving and kind way, because that's the way that Jesus would have done it. Even when he was speaking the truth, it came off loving and encouraging, even though it was, truth and it may be hurtful. He always done it from a kind heart. Yeah. And that's how he speaks to us too. If he spoke to us in a way that was like, you stink, you need to be better, we're not going to want to be better. Like we're just going to feel bad about ourselves, and we're just going to be in guilt and shame, and we're just going to be like, oh, there's no fixing me or anything like that. So what makes us think that we need to talk to anybody else in any kind of way other than a kind and loving way?
You have another one?
Yeah. My next one is that God is for our marriage. I think like that was one that like I didn't know I needed to learn, but I definitely did need to learn. And like sometimes I'm still like also learning that in certain ways, because like whenever things go wrong or whenever like we do fight or something goes wrong in our marriage, I automatically think like, oh, where's God in this? Like, is God even for this? Like, are we like, stepping into like the right things within our marriage, whatever that may be. And the truth is like, God wants your marriage to succeed. Like he doesn't want your marriage to fail, and he wants to be in the center of it. And that's the only way that it will work, is if he's in the center of it. And I have some scripture that kind of goes along with that too. But this is Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12. It says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their toil. For it is, if they fall, one will lift up this fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if 2 lie together, they keep warm. And how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, 2 will withstand with him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. So what it means by that is that like God is supposed to be in that threefold cord. Like he's supposed to be with you and your spouse, and like that can't be broken. Like he's supposed to be in the center of that. And that's something like we constantly have to work at, is like making sure that like God is the center and the head of our marriage, so that through that we'll have a healthy marriage and the flow will come down from that. But that just like is encouragement. Like God does want your marriage to work. Like he designed marriage in a very specific way, in a very loving way, in a way that's supposed to be transformative for both you and your spouse, not just for fun. I mean, marriage is fun, but that's not the only reason why we have marriage. It's supposed to be a representation of Christ in the church. And so he's for it, and he wants to be in it, and he wants to hear your problems, and he wants to help you fix it, and he wants to help make it better, and he wants you all to succeed, and he wants our family to succeed. Now adding Halston in there. So just know that like God is for you. Like he's not against you. The Bible talks about that many, many times, and he has good plans for your life. And that's the same for your marriage. Like he has good plans for your marriage.
Absolutely.
You just have to surrender your marriage and your life over to him.
Absolutely.
So.
And that's not always an easy thing to do.
Oh no, that's why I said it's something I'm still learning. Like it's still not,
Definitely not always
easy to do.
But it will. You'll see so much more fruit from your marriage when you do it the right way.
Yeah.
When you do it the right way. So I've got one more. Is that your last one?
Let me see. I think so. Oh, I have one more.
Okay.
But it's like a small one. So like you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So my last one is something just like Tay said, I am still in the process of learning this literally right as we speak right now. But,
yeah, all of these things I'm still learning.
Yeah, this is still a recent one that I've even struggled with. But do not submit to your emotions before submitting to God. I thought that was a huge one. So Chris Durso actually said this. But yeah, so a lot of times what we'll do is just like, you know, you just get mad and you just immediately are unleashing that, like in front of your spouse, like in front of whoever, like you're angry and you're just like, you know, there's been plenty of times like things get thrown. Like, you know, this is advice to help you keep from having your plates broken, like your cabinet doors ripped off. Like this is just, you know, less holes punched in the wall type of advice. Like if you just struggle with, you know, controlling your emotions, I'm not saying I do that. But
I was going to say, you've never ripped the cabinets off the wall.
But there's been times where I've wanted to. You know, there's been times where you just get mad enough, angry. You know, when you're in a fight and you're just, you know, if you're fighting, feel like you're fighting a losing battle, you just get mad. You just get angry. But do not idolize your emotions. Take your feelings to the Lord. I actually thought this was kind of funny, but I wrote this down. This one was all me. Take your feelings to the Lord before you take them to the cabinet door. That was what I said. But yeah, that is something I'm still actively learning, is just, you know, taking that time and space to be like, Lord, this is how I feel right now. This is how these arguments, like if you're just kind of walking in circles, like in an argument, but just sitting down and being like, Lord, this is how I feel right now. You know, if this is wrong, help me to not feel this way. You know, obviously anger towards your spouse is never right. But so just being willing to sit down and being willing to be open with God about that and being like, this is how I feel. And, you know, help me in this, you know. This time.
That's good. That's really good. And then I have another piece of scripture that goes with the God is for your marriage that I forgot to say. And then I'll give my last piece of advice. But this one is Matthew 19, 4-6. And it said, he answered, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made from them male and female, and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. So that just shows right there how important God sees marriage and how he designed marriage to literally you become one flesh, and he doesn't want anybody to separate that. And the only way that your marriage is going to succeed is through him. And so I just thought that was another good piece of scripture that went along with that. And then I'll go ahead and give my last piece of advice. So it's, your spouse is not a mind reader. And that was probably one of the biggest things that I had to learn in marriage, and am still learning, is that Caleb can't read my mind. Like I have to communicate with him through my words what is going on with me, or else he's not going to know. Like,
and I'm kind of clueless anyway.
No. But I'm saying it's the same, like for him, like I'm not going to know what's wrong with him obviously like you get to know your spouse and you get to know the person that you love, and you start to figure out, oh, like this may be what's wrong, but like still you should be communicating with that with each other about that, so that you can know how to help in those moments and stuff, and like what to do in those moments. Because if he's just like assuming it's this but it's something else, he may not be able to help me in the way that I need him to, and then therefore I may get angry, but then it was never his fault because I never shared with him what was actually wrong with me. Right. So I think that's a big one, is, you know, your spouse is not a mind reader, and your family's not mind readers, your siblings aren't mind readers. Your friends aren't mind readers. That goes along with whoever.
It is really important, and it's super important just to be open, like just to be open.
Yeah, like and vulnerable.
Yeah, with your spouse too, for sure. But yeah, that is some of our best pieces of advice for
things we've learned. Yeah, really things we've learned. Like honestly,
and like we said, we're continuing to learn every single day.
Yeah,
continuing to learn and continuing to, you know, put, just like you said, putting Jesus at the center of our marriage. You know, every single day in everything that we do, because, you know, if not, then it's not going to end up good, you know? And, no, we're so thankful for you guys tuning in for episode 2. This was so much fun.
Yes.
We're having a lot of fun doing this. Podcast 10's pointing at something. I don't know what's going on, but
I think our camera died on one of them or whatever.
It might have. Okay, so we're so thankful that you guys joined us for episode 2, and we cannot wait to get back into it in 2 weeks from now. So we will see you guys.
Wait 1 second before you end it.
You did this last time.
I know. I wanted to say one last thing, was just that, again, we wanted to say that we are not experts in marriage.
Lord, no.
And so like if you have any advice that you were like, oh, I've been learning this, or I have learned this over the years, we would love for you to send it our way, because
Absolutely.
You know, we need all the advice we can get, and you know, all the prayer we can get. So.
Absolutely. And feel free to submit requests too for the podcast, and just, you know, if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, is there anything you want to hear discussed, feel free to send that to us. Comment down below, and make sure you subscribe and watch episode 1 if you haven't watched episode 1.
Yeah.
Too. See the story of how we met. Yeah. So thank you all so much for tuning in to Big Facts with the Burtons episode 2. We will see you guys in the next one.